So, ladies and gentlemen, no introduction for this video. Let's just get right into it. I want to talk about the tech bros versus MAGA because there is a fundamental lack of understanding on the part of people who are, being called the tech bros. These are people that were Democrats, a lot of them. They're more liberal in nature. They've existed in the Democrat echo chamber for years and years. Elon Musk was a Democrat. He was a leftist, by his own admission. A lot of these people were Democrats, but they came under the Trump umbrella because they saw how terrible the far left had become, and they didn't want anything to do with it. And people on the right welcomed them in. They're like, welcome, we're glad to have you. But then at the first opportunity, where the actual principles of what Trump was running on and what people demanded of Trump, which is America first, the moment that is put into focus, these people just immediately revert back to their tribal leftist politics. And I gotta say, Elon, you'll never listen to this. Here's the reality. I respect what you've done with Twitter, and understand, when I'm putting billionaires on a chart, you are by far one of the best. However, I don't care if you own Tesla. I don't care if you own X. I don't care if you are king of the United States. A retarded idea is a retarded idea, and people are pushing back not because of who you are, like the left is doing. The left simply reacts to you because of who you are, whereas people like me react to you based on what you say. And while there does need to be a solution for the problem, you are correct that there is a problem, you have to understand some very important things that you're overlooking. For years, in fact, I would say probably over a decade, in fact, well over a decade, conservatives, even under Trump, have been vilified. White people have been told your opinions don't matter. In fact, you still have this dog shit narrative that you can't be racist to white people. White people have been told that they have no culture. They've been told, you're going to be replaced. There has been an ongoing war against white people and against Americans in general for years and years and years. People voted for Trump because he's putting an end to that. His whole thing about securing the border and making sure that no more illegal immigrants get in and we're going to deport the people who came in here illegally, that's part of a plan to get people out that are not Americans so you can put Americans first. Now, I understand that this may be a foreign concept. No pun intended. America first means that you do not bring people, and we see this from the immigration visas, that they're not just bringing in the 0.01%. They're not just bringing in the best and brightest. They're bringing in people for all sorts of work so that they can keep them there on low wages or else threaten to send them back. That's the reality, Elon, and you know it, and now we know it too. So please, don't just assume that we're retarded or that we don't understand this. We understand this better than you because we've been doing it for longer. We've been debating this for a long time. We know what the issues are. We want our veterans to be first. We want our workers to get the job first. Now, there's stuff that you have to do, but what is the point of having a factory in America if you're just going to import people that don't share our culture, that don't share our values, that are not American citizens? These are people going into business for themselves. They do not have the best interest of the country in mind. And conservatives are trying to explain this. But unfortunately, because of the way that this conversation was broached, because of how on edge conservatives have been after years of just endless war, just complete and total attrition, having to do a guerrilla tactics because all of the institutions have been controlled by these far left freaks and lunatics that have basically been allowing the border to be overrun. I have no problem with people from other parts of the world wanting to come here. I understand. My own grandfather immigrated to this country. But the first thing he did? He integrated into the society. He wasn't here on a work visa. He was here to become a citizen and to build a family here. And now, after multiple generations, here we are. So, if you, Elon, were to ask the average Trump voter, are you in favor of bringing in people from India? And by the way, these are the people that voted for Trump. If you were to ask them, do you think that we should be bringing in foreigners from other countries into America? You could even throw the caveat in to make America better or stronger for the future, all that. If you said that, and then you added, or you put Americans first, and you give Americans the job, and you change the education system, and you put them in a position to thrive, and they're an American citizen, how many percentage points do you think one is going to be above the other? I would say that probably if you were to ask MAGA Republicans, it's probably 85 to 90%. Minimum. And my point in doing this is that if you were going to go this route where you were vilifying Trump supporters as retarded for not understanding this, I have to say, I don't care who you are. Not only is your idea retarded, your position is completely and totally pathetic. All right? I've seen a lot of people kissing Elon Musk's ass. I mean, people that you wouldn't think would. And as I said, if you had to have a choice between Elon Musk or Bill Gates, it's not even close. You choose Elon Musk every time and twice on Sunday. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter unless you can criticize somebody's bad ideas, and he has had a bad idea, and now he's doubling down. First of all, calling white people dumb, like say, oh, we're just dumb because we're white. First of all, it's ridiculous. White people have invented most of the modern creations in the world. White people created America, one of the best countries in the history of the world. It's like, do we really need to get into this again? Do we need to relitigate this again? We've spent so much time denigrating and betraying and pushing white people down. These blue-collar people, these hardworking people, veterans and all this other stuff, that I'm gobsmacked. I'm gobsmacked that we're still doing this, and that's why people are so apprehensive. That's why people are so apprehensive. They've had enough of it. They've had enough of the bullshit, of the, oh, you just don't understand this. You're just too stupid. You're too dumb. And then, Elon, what the fuck are you doing with that developer? That person at your company that's an anti-white bigot? Like, pretend, oh, he's just a troll? Really? He doesn't seem to be trolling to me. He seems to have anti-white prejudice and bigotry. And so people are talking about India because that's where the conversation is. But we weren't talking about India a week ago. This is something that was just started because a majority of the immigration visas are coming from China and India. And the reality is that it shouldn't be going to either of them. The job should be going to American citizens. American citizens. Crazy, huh? American citizens. People who were here. People, who I think deserve the opportunity. Let me put the American flag in the background. America first means Americans first. Means you put them first always. You put their interests above the interests of other people. You pay them what they're worth. You pay them more. Give them a livable wage. Allow them to thrive and exist. We are no longer, or we should no longer, exist in a system where you immigrate cheap labor. And you put them in a position. You see, Elon Musk and these other tech bros, they want basically indentured servants. If you have this immigration visa, you're not a citizen. You don't have the rights to vote. You don't have really any rights at all. You can't go looking for another job. If you get fired from that job or you're gone, then you go back home. But American citizens have rights, and they're a little more expensive, and they're not going to work 80, 90 hours a week. So, and by the way, Vivek, oh my God, Vivek, I don't understand how on God's green earth you thought that response was a good one. That was the most pathetic, retarded thing I've ever seen in my life. America's failing as a culture because we didn't glorify the nerds. We didn't glorify Steve Urkel. No, we glorify heroes, warriors, badasses, people who get things done. In America, we do honor people who are intelligent. There are plenty of movies. Oppenheimer came out not that long ago. We honor people from other countries like Albert Einstein. But the fact that you think that, you're supposed to worship the nerd, the number crunching nerd, and that'll bring you to another level. No, that's ridiculous. The founding fathers of this country were not nerds. They were intellectual, but they were chads. The founding fathers of this country were chads. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe we've deviated to this point. But here's the reality. This is going to be a losing topic. Because so many Americans voted for America First that I don't care if a billionaire and 2 or 3 comes out to support this. The reality is that this is going to lose ultimately because so many people are opposed to this. And I guess in closing, what I will say is this. I hope that Elon Musk reconsiders. I hope that he listens to some of the feedback and sort of understands that it's not really about him. He just happened to touch a sore subject that is the result of years of leftists just completely and totally shitting on Republicans. By the way, Elon, let me also say that it is a completely and totally ridiculous view that you have. I don't know where it came from, that you think that if the right and the left both hate you, are angry at you, that you did something right. That is the most low IQ opinion that I've ever heard. No, if both sides are hating you, you did something wrong. Because one side should support you and one side shouldn't. Now, that side can change depending on what decision you make, when, how, where. But just getting two sides of a group angry, 10% here, 10% there, that doesn't mean that you're right. And in this case, you're definitely not right. The left is hating on you still because of who you are. The right is hating on you because of what you said. And there's a difference. Your idea was retarded. It was shit. It was a really, really, really dumb idea. Instead of accepting that, reflecting on it, you decided to double down and basically go on a tantrum, which is your prerogative to do. You can do that, but we're going to make fun of you for it. And maybe I'm the only person left that isn't afraid of a billionaire. It just isn't afraid of speaking honestly and openly. There have been so many people, like Sargon of Akkad, Mike Cernovich, a lot of people that are just terrified to cross Elon Musk. And it's like, dude, yes, he's the richest man in the world. But when should money, or why should money, or status like that prevent a regular, ordinary, blue-collar person from speaking truth to power? Like, isn't speaking truth to power the whole point of what we're doing? That's what I always thought it was. It was, you're articulating your point of view. And who am I? I don't own Twitter. I don't make any creative controls. I'm just some guy speaking my mind and wanting America to be better. And I'm watching people immediately, before Trump's even in office, start betraying the very principles that people fought so hard for. And by the way, if you want to know exactly what I'm talking about, if you want at the very end for me to sort of explain it, let me pull up Carl Benjamin's let me pull up his tweet, because McDonald's laid off a bunch of people. This is the argument right here. Oh, he reacted to it. It's actually from somebody else. Okay, let's pull it up. We need H-1B visas to bring in geniuses like Werner von Braun. Werner von Braun. Reality, McDonald's hires foreign H-1Bs. BS is right. Hires foreign H-1Bs. Fires 70 American accounting staff. Oh, yeah. So you fired a bunch of Americans. You hired people from overseas. See, my position on that is very simple. If you do that as a company, the punitive toll on your brand and your reputation and your finances should be so devastating that it should be a message to every other company. There should be a 100% tariff every time you implement something like that. Every time you do something like that, there's a tariff put on for call it a penalty. You're in the penalty box, McDonald's. You get 100% tariff on all imported goods. And even if the goods aren't imported, we'll find a way to make it completely and totally financially ruinous to you as a brand, because America first means Americans first. You hire American. You don't bring other people over because you can pay them less and make them work more hours with the fear of, you're in indentured servitude, do your job or we're going to send you home. You don't have any rights. No, that needs to end completely and totally. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.